guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy New Year, happy 2022. I hope you've all had an amazing Christmas, amazing New Year's, and are ready to start the new year with a fresh pair of eyes and just going on into the future. I'm so ready for the new year. I'm not gonna do the whole new year, new me thing, but what I am gonna do is new me, new budget. And that means a new budget spreadsheet. The guys that have followed me since this time last year will know that I basically love a budget. I love a spreadsheet and I love being able to track money coming in and out. I'm quite money conscious and I want to make sure that my finances are in a good place for 2022 and thereafter. Lots of things are happening for us. We're getting married. You know, there are some things happening. So I just want to make sure that my budget is very accurate. I've done this video this time last year for my 2021 budget. It has changed a lot. I was on maternity leave when I filmed that video last year, so my income was completely different. I'm now back working 4 days a week. I now also make an income from YouTube and pay myself a little bit of income from that and save that money and invest it and do all of that stuff. So I just basically want to show you everything. I want to show you exactly how much income I have from all of those different streams of income, exactly what my expenses are. We also don't now have a rental income because we used to rent this house out and we live back here now, so we don't have an income from that. So everything has changed basically since 2021. So I want to do a 2022 budget tracker update, basically budget with me, all of that kind of stuff. I am also putting this budget template, the exact thing that I'm going to put in front of you now, on Etsy for this year. So the 2022 version is going to be on Etsy. You can use it, and if you have already got the older one, it's going to be very similar. And you can, if you've got the older one, just copy and paste it and put 2022 at the top. It's very similar, but the 2022 one is a bit prettier, a bit more funked up, and this is the one that I'm going to be using with you guys today. I'm so excited to film this video, and a lot has changed in terms of our finances. So I work less, I only do 4 days a week now, but I get money from YouTube. My outgoings are completely different because we don't live in the same place. We've got childcare, childcare has destroyed me financially. But anyway, we'll go through absolutely everything and I will pop the link to the Etsy spreadsheet down below. Stay tuned until the end and you'll see what I tend to do with my disposable income, every single month when it comes to investing, all of that kind of stuff, or whether I'm planning to spend it and everything. So without further ado, let's crack on. I've got my spreadsheet up in front of me, I've got my cup of tea. We're gonna go through everything, and the first thing that we're gonna talk about is income. Okay, so I've got a completely blank spreadsheet here, the 2022 budget spreadsheet. I've cleared some things from it that aren't applicable anymore. So we used to get a rental income, we don't get that anymore. I used to have kitchen repayments, I don't have that anymore. But I've got it completely blank because the incomings and outgoings have changed entirely. So we're just gonna go through it. I'll show you exactly how much salary I have, how much money I make from YouTube, or an estimate as to how much I'm gonna make from YouTube because it literally changes every single month, and all of that kind of stuff. So we're gonna dive in. I'm gonna pop this up on the screen, adjust you slightly so the lighting's slightly better, and then we're gonna get into it. Okay, so here it is, my budget spreadsheet for 2022. On this, I'm gonna start in January, but most things will stay the same probably between January and December. So I'm just gonna kind of go from there. This time last year, I was on maternity leave and my maternity leave money was changing halfway through the year, but I don't anticipate my salary or anything is going to change significantly this year, fingers crossed. So starting off with January on the salary element, I work 4 days a week, the same job that I had this time last year, but I used to work 5 days a week and now I only work 4 days a week. So my income has gone down to £1,700 a month after tax and everything. So I will drag that across to December, and that is my main income that pays all the bills and all that kind of stuff every single month. Is very secure. I know that that's coming in all the time, and if I didn't make any other money, it would be okay. So that is my income from my job. And then when it comes to affiliate marketing, so that's basically whenever I put links to Amazon products or something from H&M or I don't know, things like that, I would get a couple of pennies or 20 pence or something when you purchase through a link like that. It doesn't cost anything extra to people, but that's how some people on social media make money. I don't make that much from it, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't put many links anymore. I used to do quite a lot of links, but it's just very time consuming, and I don't do many Best Buy products and videos like that anymore. I just tend to do more vloggy type things, so it's harder to recommend things. And also I don't think I've got loads and loads of stuff anymore. I used to have loads more stuff when George was little, and obviously it was all new. But I would say from that I probably make about £200 a month. So I'm going to drag that all the way across to December as well. So that's £200 extra a month that I wouldn't have if it wasn't for those links and people buying through the links. So that's amazing. When it comes to YouTube ads, recently, the last probably 4 months, I've made about somewhere between £800 and £1,000 a month. But the last 2 months, it's been £1,000. So I'm going to hope that the £1,000 a month is here to stay, and I'm going to pop that as my projected throughout the year. Like I said, YouTube income is like all over the shop, and it does differ significantly, and you'll come to see when it comes to sponsorships that's exactly the same. You genuinely don't know. 1 month you could have none, and then the next month you could have like 3 and it'll be really good. So I'm going to be really positive and perhaps suggest that I'm going to maybe make about £1,000 a month from sponsorships. That's quite ambitious, but I want to be ambitious with my channel this year. So I have set myself the target here to make £1,000 of YouTube ad revenue and £1,000 on sponsorships, as well as a little bit of affiliate marketing. And you can see that obviously that income is bigger than my salary, but you'll see in how I divvy it up and all of my expenses and stuff, actually, I don't really tend to touch the YouTube money. I'm putting this aside into investments and like savings and for a rainy day, like whether that's a house deposit or things like that, not just spending it on loads and loads of stuff. So you can see here that this is my total income. I haven't actually done the formula for this yet, so I'm going to do that. It's recommending what I should put, so that's perfect. And then on your ones, guys, when you download it, it will come up automatically and tell you exactly how much, because I'll use these exact formulas in the ones that I put on Etsy, and you'll see exactly how much your total income is, and whether that's just like your salary and your partner's salary, or just your salary if you've got 2 jobs, or like whatever, it will add it all up. And if you've got like child benefit and stuff like that as well. I haven't actually put child benefit in here because we did get that for George, but we put that straight, it goes straight into our joint account, and we put it straight into his ISA, like that happens automatically. So I'm not going to put that on here, but you could also put stuff like that on the spreadsheet. So I've just got my Santander app on, that's the bank that we use. I've just got the app up to see exactly the amount that comes out of our joint account every single month. I know how much money I put in there every single month, and Ash does the same, but I don't know exactly the amounts like for the mortgage and stuff. So it says our mortgage is £621 a month. So I will put in half of that, which is 310.5-ish. So I'll put that. The reason that our mortgage repayments are so low is because 1, we split it in 2. That obviously helps. 2, our mortgage was over 35 years, so that obviously stretches out the repayment time and therefore makes the repayments smaller. And the mortgage actually wasn't that big because the house that we got wasn't an amazing house. It was a very, very bog standard first time house. I think it was, we paid 185 for it, so £185,000, which for a house in the UK is very, very, very affordable. It was 3 years ago when we bought it, and it's hopefully worth a little bit more now. So hopefully when it comes to selling it, we will make a little bit of profit from it. But yeah, our mortgage payments are really low, and I know that we're very, very, very lucky for that to be the case. Then when it comes to food, we put £200 in the joint account every single month. Our weekly shops are never £100, but if we use HelloFresh, or if we got like takeaways, or if we got things for George, like even, actually I should say nappies, wipes, formula when we had formula, but like anything like that comes out of the weekly shop, and like even cleaning products and like anything like that. So anything from Tesco or Aldi or Lidl or wherever, or Asda, will come from this budget. So the food shop is like all of those kind of bits that you'd get from those places, if that makes sense. So £200 a month each, so 100 quid a week on all of those things, but sometimes it'll be way less and sometimes it'll be way more. Then moving on to water, it's a bit different at the moment. So I think it's about £50. We allocate £50 for it, but I think it's slightly less. But the water prices are really weird around our area at the moment. So I'm just gonna put £50 in. That's how much we're allocating for water recently. Gas and electric is from the same company, and we put £30 in each. It's £30 on gas and £30 on electric, and obviously obviously we half it, so it's £30 each. Moving down now to the home insurance, and that is £30, so home insurance, like contents insurance and all of that, so it's £15 each, which I'm going to drag across. And then I saw the internet, and internet on my outgoings is £26, so 26 divided by 2 is 13. Lovely. So £13 on internet. Just seen that our TV licence is £13.35 per month, so it's £6.67 per person. So I've dragged that across as well. We didn't used to have to pay council tax in our army accommodation because it was like included in the price of the house because it was the MOD house, I don't really know. But our council tax is back now, back with a vengeance, and our council tax is £120 a month, which means between us it is £60. So I dragged that across, so another £60 there. Then we get to the big one. The big one, which is childcare. And so if you have watched some of my previous videos about budgeting and childcare costs and all that kind of stuff, which I'll pop down below if you haven't, because they are really, I think, interesting for people that don't know about them, because I didn't have a clue about, I've never even thought about childcare until I had to. But yeah, childcare costs. So we get tax-free childcare, which means the government give you 20%. If you both work full time and you hit all these other criteria that they have, which we do, you get tax-free childcare, which means the government pay 20% essentially of your childcare bill up to a certain amount. So if it's more than like 10 grand a year, they won't. But ours, I think, is like just under. Ours is like, our childcare cost would be like 9 grand a year or something, something like that. And then, so they would pay the 20%. So the money that comes out of our account every single month, and I've checked this, is £730. So our childcare, the amount that comes out of our joint account is £730, but divided that by 2 is actually £365. Actually, it's going up in January, and I haven't even checked what that is, so it'll probably be about 380. I'll change that to 380. They're changing the fees at nursery. So yeah, 380 a month comes out of both of our accounts, goes into the joint account, and then that amount, so at the moment it's 730, but it'll probably go up to like 750, something like that, goes into our childcare account, and on the childcare account on the gov.uk website, they then top it up, the government top it up by 20%, and then that is what gets sent to the nursery to pay them. It's such a palaver. I did not know that's how childcare costs worked and stuff, if you had schemes and all that kind of stuff, but it's definitely worth checking out, and I'll link that childcare cost video down below. If it's something that you can get on that scheme, it is very, very, very helpful. But yeah, 380 quid each a month for 4 days a week of childcare. We're in like the southeast, so you know, hopefully it's like a little bit more affordable if you're up north. It was more affordable when we were in the Midlands, so yeah. Anyway, then I think I had kitchen repayments in this slot here, but I don't actually have the kitchen repayments anymore because we paid that off, thankfully. So I don't have that anymore, but I do have a Spotify. We have a joint Spotify account, and that's like £14 a month. So I'll put £7 in there because it's split between 2. And I'm just gonna double check to see if there are any more additional outgoings that I haven't accounted for. And I'm just gonna go through my transactions on the joint account where all of our bills come from and see if there's anything that's been added to that since I last did this. The only thing that I've seen that has been added is Office 365. So we never used to have like Word and all that kind of stuff, which actually is why I use Google Sheets to do this, and which I would advise anyone to do. But I've recently got Office 365 and Ash and I share it, and that only costs us £3.50 each. So I'm just gonna add that in. So as you can see from that, the total expenses that comes out of my joint account every single month is £1,075.67, and that marries up exactly with how much money I put into the joint account, so I know that that is right. Obviously when we move, whenever that actually is, we haven't found a house, our house is not on the market, but if that happens this year, mortgage will change, the childcare will probably change, the council tax will probably change, and they're all probably going to go up. But at the moment, that's where we are. And that all of that can be covered quite well by my salary, because I earn 1,700 from my salary, and that means I've still got about £600 left over for spending. But I go down a little bit more to my personal costs and my travel costs, because they're not things that come out of my joint account, because the joint account are things like joint bills for me and Ash, whereas my car insurance, my personal car insurance, doesn't come from that, because he doesn't drive my car. I don't pay for his and he does not pay for mine. So I will start on my travel costs because I know all of these. So my car insurance is £35 a month, and that, annoyingly, I was going to try and pay it in a one lump sum because I've got money in a account somewhere, like I've been saving up every single month to pay it off in a one lump sum, so I didn't have to come off every month, if that makes sense. But it automatically renewed on Boxing Day. That's the worst time. Why have I got that? My renewal date for my insurance is Boxing Day, and I totally forgot, and it automatically renewed. So I'll do it next year. When it comes to petrol, I'm going to put that as £50 because I don't, for long journeys, I don't use my car much. It's always in Ash's car, which works out for me because petrol money. And petrol's obviously gone up significantly. So that's probably like a tank and a bit in my car, because I've only got a small car. So yeah, £50. And then AA breakdown cover, I think, is £10 a month. So I'm gonna pop that in there. So all of my travel costs every single month is £95. Then we go on to personal costs. So my phone. My phone bill is about £60 a month. I've got the iPhone 12 Pro. It is one of the newer ones, 60 quid a month. It's ridiculous really on a phone, but I use it all the time. I use it for Instagram. You know, that's how I justified it to myself. So it is 60 quid a month. And then we come to socialising, and my version of socialising has changed significantly over the years, but I would probably say socialising for me these days is like play dates, going to the zoo, even maybe going like for a coffee with another mum, or even if it is like something, you know, going for a coffee with a friend or whatever, socialising, that kind of thing. I am going to allocate myself probably about £75, because in a month, like 75 quid can go like that. So if I'm on it, and 75 quid, if I actually, you know, once a week go and do something that's like a social thing, because I'm busy anyway, like I work 4 days a week and then I do YouTube stuff. If I can fit in like a socialising thing per week, it would be amazing. So 75 quid I feel like is actually quite a normal amount for me. Then we're on toiletries, and when I say toiletries, I mean all things makeup, all things hair, all things like, you know, even if I'm getting myself like a nice shampoo or something like that. If it's like a bog standard shampoo, it comes out the weekly shop. If it's a nice shampoo, or if it's like a heat protector or like anything like that, I won't assume that Ash should pay for that in the weekly shop as a joint account. I'll get it myself as a treat. So £50 I would say for that, because things are expensive. So yeah, I'd say about 50 quid, because like I said, expensive shampoos, conditioners, nice like heat protectors, any kind of makeup thing, that would come out of that budget. I don't go mad every single month, but one month I might spend £50, one month I might not, the next month I might run out of everything and buy loads of stuff. So yeah, I'll put about 50 quid there. I feel like that's sensible. And then clothing, I'm gonna put £50 because it's just difficult. I really do want to start buying clothing that is more sustainable, in that it's better quality and it's going to last longer, and therefore I don't have to repurchase all the time. And then I've just got other, and that's just like anything else fun, like that doesn't come under socialising and doesn't come under shopping basically. So anything else, I'm just gonna put about £50. I think that the key with budgeting is just to not like limit yourself too much, and realise that yes, you're allowed to spend money, but as long as you're honest with yourself when you're like going through expenses, there are things that are gonna come under other, and that's fine, that's allowed. So yeah, then that is all of my expenses, all of my actual expenses, and you can see, so I've got £1,075 on like joint account expenses, then I've got £95, then I've got £285. This personal costs one, I could cut all of that if I needed to. If I needed to actually genuinely like save money and like I was struggling financially, I don't need clothing, I don't need toiletries, like fancy toiletries. I could, you know, I'd obviously need toilet roll, but I don't need like fancy hair products and stuff like that. Socialising, I could cut down like massively. My phone bill, I could cut down massively. Like I could cut this if I wanted to, but I like to think I'm not in a position where I have to yet. Obviously if our mortgage goes up massively, then I might have to, but that's fine. At the moment, you know, I like the fact that I don't have to live like scraping the barrel at the moment. Then we're gonna come down to savings, which is honestly the one that I love doing the most. So when it comes to sinking fund, I tend to put about £250 in a month, until it gets to a certain point where I realise I don't need any more in. So a sinking fund, if you guys don't know, is basically a pot of money that you have for a rainy day. If something goes, if your boiler goes wrong, or if your car has like an MOT and a service and loads of things need doing on it, you've always got a pot of money then. You don't have to borrow money, you don't have to get anything on finance, you don't have to do any of that. You've got a pot of money, you're borrowing money from yourself, you're borrowing money from your sinking fund. It's literally the most sensible thing to do ever, and I didn't do it really until this time last year, and it really genuinely, like, and I have dipped into it, don't get me wrong, it genuinely helps you. There's so much less financial stress on you if you have a sinking fund, because you always know you've got money for a rainy day, and I just genuinely think if you can afford to save money, have it as a sinking fund. And then once your sinking fund is up to a certain amount of money, for me, I always wanted my sinking fund to be about £4,000. And the reason I say that is because that was 2 months worth of wages back when I worked full time. So I know that if I were to ever get furloughed, or if I were to ever not be able to work for whatever reason and not get paid, then I would have 2 months worth of income to cover my bills, to cover my living, to everything. So I think actually the recommended amount is at 3 months, like minimum. But I know that my expenses, my joint expenses that I absolutely need, as you can see, is 1,075 plus the 95 from my travel costs. Everything else I could probably cut out. So about 1,200. When my sinking fund was up to 4,000, I was quite comfortable that I could survive. I could pay my bills, I could still have a life, and yeah, I felt really comfortable with that. So, and then every time I dipped in, I'd start then re-adding money into the sinking fund. So yeah, $250 a month for me is the amount that I'm comfortable with. That money is in an accessible account. It's just a current account or savings account type thing. I can access it anytime I have to pay anything. That is where that is, and it's ready to go. I don't invest it, I don't do anything with it, it's just safe money that's there. So yeah, that is what I do with my sinking fund, and I would very, very highly recommend, before doing anything else with your money, is setting up a sinking fund. It literally is just a bank account, a separate bank account to your current account, so you don't spend the money. That's all it is. It's so easy. I use an app called Hyperjar as well, which is an app that you can allocate the money into little different pots. It's exactly the same thing. Perfect, brilliant, love it. Then going down to like savings, I guess this isn't really a saving, it's more of an expense, but like every few months when George grows out of his clothes, I have to buy him a whole new bloody wardrobe because he's obviously growing all the time. So I tend to put in about £50 a month into this like George clothing account, or clothing, coats, shoes, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't buy something every single month from this account because he doesn't need clothes and shoes every single month. But every few months he needs a lot all at once. So I put in about 50 quid a month, and then every, 4 to 6 months, maybe less. When he was younger, he was growing quicker, but every like 4 to 6 months, I will now have to buy him shoes, clothes, coats, vests, like everything, like the whole shebang, the whole wardrobe. So I know then I've got some money there put aside. It's not a massive expense every single month. It's just 50 quid. It's fine. So yeah, that's about £50. And then we go on to Christmas and birthdays. I definitely recommend doing this, putting money aside every single month for Christmas and birthdays, so that when it comes to December or September for George's birthday, it's not like a stressful month financially. You've always got that money in a sinking fund type of thing before Christmas and birthdays. For me this year, I would quite like to put away for Christmas and birthdays every single month £200. And the reason I say that is because for Christmas, I'd like to put away £100 a month. So I've got £1,200 for the whole of Christmas, including food, including presents, including everything. That worked really well for me this year. I did that this year and I spent less than that, but it was very comfortable. I'd then like to put away £100 a month for everyone's birthdays. So my mum's birthday, for example, is in April, Ash's birthday is in March, George's birthday is in September, my dad's birthday is in September. If I put away £100 a month, every single month, I've got no worries that I can cover off everyone's presents, even if we're having a party, like traveling somewhere for something, we've got some money in the bank there. It's very comfortable. There's no stress on the month of the birthday. So yeah, I'd like to do that this year. If I can do that, that would be amazing. Then for holiday, like a holiday fund. So we have our honeymoon in a month of the year I'll just say summer, but that is already paid for. That's coming out of our wedding budget. That is not on this spreadsheet because we've already paid for most things in our wedding. We've already got to put money away for that. But holiday budget, we're probably not planning on going away abroad. We're probably going to stay in the UK when we go away with George. But I would still quite like to put away £50 a month for a holiday fund. And then that can hopefully just help towards travel costs, accommodation, like wherever we might go. It's probably going to be somewhere in the southwest. We always love the southwest of England. So £50 a month, and if we go away in like August or whatever, we'll have a good amount of money. Like my half of it will be a good amount of money to like have a really nice time as a family holiday. So that is everything, like my short-term savings, I guess. And then we're coming down to long-term goals, and this is the one that I'm the most excited for because it basically means that I am putting everything I've got left over into saving for a deposit for a house. Because yes, we own this house, but the next house that we get, we would like it to be in a completely different area, so the house prices are going to be significantly different, and also we would like it to be like a bit of an upgrade basically. So where we live, it's a 3-bed terraced house with no parking, and we want that to be different. So in our ideal world, we'd want a semi-detached with a bit of a drive maybe, you know, nothing extravagant, but something that's like slightly better than what we've got at the moment. And that means that we'd have to put down more money as a deposit, which is fine. I've got some money put away, and at some point I'll share that with you, but I've got some money put away that I've been doing that over the past year, and I'm really happy that it's a good pot of money. But I'd still quite like to put essentially most of the money that I've got left over into saving for this deposit. So you can see at the bottom here, it has January, my incoming and all of my expenses, and then my leftover is £1,894. So I think I should be putting at least £1,500 a month into saving for this deposit. I'm not saying that we're going to do it all the way from January to December, because that might not be realistic, we might even move before that, but I want to be putting away at least £1,500 every single month, because I can do that because of the YouTube income. For the long-term goal, the deposit money, I am actually putting that into a ISA. I have an investment ISA on Trading 212, and I just invest in really safe shares, and I understand what they are, and I don't like dive into any of like the more risky ones and stuff, because that money is important and I will use that at some point, and I don't really understand it enough to be investing in all of these like crazy cryptos and stuff like that. It's not for me. I admire it if it is your thing, but for me it's just the safe stuff. I've made a profit of about 13% since I've been investing in those things over the past sort of year. So for me, I can see a tangible like gain from that, and I'm very happy. So I will link maybe some Trading 212 stuff down below. I think if you use that link, you can get a free share if you wanted to get started with investments and stuff. But I think I might do a video about sort of Trading 212 and investing for like proper beginners, because that is, I still class myself as a massive beginner. And I do things the easy way, the simple way, the safe way. Obviously you're like investing anything, your money is at risk. But yeah, basically that's what I'm doing with my deposit money, is putting it away into that investment ISA every single month and seeing that growth. And so I've made probably about £2,000 from doing that over the past year, and you can probably guess from there how much money I've got in the account, how much I've invested over the past year. So if I'm able to do the same this year, then hopefully I should have, you know, got a really good deposit down for a house, which is basically my goal, and that's what YouTube has allowed me to do. You can see obviously my income from YouTube is insane in comparison to my salary. If I was just using my salary to do this budget template, which I think is basically what I did last year, I think I'd be able to cover all my bills, and I'd be able to do my travel costs and my personal costs very comfortably. I probably wouldn't be able to do much else. Like I wouldn't be able to save as much as I am. I wouldn't be able to save for a deposit or like have that sinking fund. So yeah, YouTube has literally changed everything for me, and I'm insanely grateful. So this is it. This is my finished, completed budget template spreadsheet for 2022. This is it. This is exactly my salary, my incoming, my outgoings from YouTube, from making money with a 4-day-a-week job, everything. And you can see now that I've inputted all of the formulas and all of the totals. And now this is what your spreadsheet, once you populate yours, this is what your spreadsheet will do. So it will tell you the total amount that you earn per year after tax, if that's how you get paid or whatever. And then it will tell you the total that you get each month. It will tell you the total amounts of outgoings you have. So I can see that per year, I spend £3,726 on mortgage repayments, but I can also see that per month, I spend £1,075.67 on all of my joint account outgoings. So it shows you everything. Yeah, so I hope this is interesting. Obviously, like, this is me like putting my exact stuff on a spreadsheet, but for you to do this at the beginning of the year is so helpful, I think. I find it so helpful, which is why I do this video every year. If you're interested, go down and click the Etsy link and get the spreadsheet, fill it in yourself, and I would love to know if it's helped you out and what you do to help your finances, getting ready for a new year, like what your things are to get like motivated and ready to like have the best year ever. I'd love to hear them. But for now, I think I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.